My boyfriend and his sister were caught in a police raid at a hotel. When I went to bail him out, he had hickeys all over his neck. He was comforting his sister who was crying beside him, covering her face. Sophie's lock at home was broken, she was too scared, so I came out to keep her company. In the past, I would have grilled him. But this time, I didn't want to be the shrew he called me anymore. I signed calmly, without a word. A friend on the force asked me, "Are you family?" I shook my head. "Just a neighbor." Lowering my head, I sent a message to my mom. "The arranged marriage you mentioned, I agree to it. Give me 3 days. I'll be home in 3 days." Leaving the police station, the tearful Sophia got into the car and sat in the passenger seat. I couldn't be bothered to say much. Just as I was about to start the car, she pulled on me. But then she turned to Ethan and said, "Ethan, I'm scared. I don't like riding in someone else's car." Sophia's eyes were still teary, her nose red, looking pitiful. I pulled her hand away. "If you're not sitting, get out." The atmosphere in the car immediately turned frigid. Sophia's tears began to fall, drop by drop. Ethan's tone from the back seat was sharp. "Olivia, can't you be less cold-blooded? You know Sophie has trauma from what happened with her brother. Can't you be more understanding? All right, you get out. I'll drive." Then Ethan got out of the car directly, opening my car door with a bang. Cold wind swept into the car, and I shivered. I didn't move, just watched him quietly. Ethan, usually so composed around me, became rough. He forcefully unbuckled my seatbelt and dragged me out of the car. I stumbled a few steps, half kneeling, to avoid a clumsy fall. Ethan got into the driver's seat, not even looking at me, just rubbing Sophia's hair. "Stop crying, I'll take you home first." "Ethan, you're so good to me." Sophie looked at me pointedly. Finally, Ethan only left me with one sentence. "You're a grown-up. Go back by yourself. I'll drop Sophie off first, and I'll be home soon." They drove away. I saw Sophia lean over and kiss Ethan's cheek. My phone vibrated. My stiff fingers tapped to answer. "Liv, have you seen Nicholas's photo?" Nicholas was my arranged marriage prospect. He was a tall, distinguished man. On the other end of the line, my mom's tone was relieved. "Liv, you've really grown up. Your dad is getting old. These past years, he's been furious several times about you running away from home. It's good that you can come back." I looked up at the small flying insects under the streetlight, my memories a jumble. Back then, I ran away from home because I didn't want to accept this fate. When I met Ethan, I thought I was incredibly lucky. We were together for 7 years, I was there with him from nothing to everything. Just because he said too early, I had several abortions. I was so foolish back then, thinking his love was enough. But now, I can't bear any hardship at all. In the end, I took a taxi back myself. Regardless of my attitude, Ethan felt guilty. So it wasn't long before he came back too. He found me packing. All the clothes from the closet were taken out, most of them thrown into bags. "Why are you packing clothes?" Ethan's expression was hesitant. "Decluttering." I gave him a perfunctory answer, just hoping he'd go take a shower quickly. The sweet perfume smell on Ethan made me sick. He was silent for a moment, not sensing anything was wrong. He continued talking, oblivious. "It's good to get rid of them. We can buy new ones when we get married. Or we could get a new place. What do you think?" Ethan seemed genuinely contemplating our future. He was trying to gauge my reaction, I knew, but pretended not to. Normally, I would have been overjoyed to tears. But now, I didn't want to shed a single tear for him. My indifference made Ethan feel bored. He knew I was angry, but he wouldn't try to appease me. Tonight was already a rare concession. Ethan went to shower. His phone kept ringing. Annoyed, I picked it up and glanced at it. Sophia had sent him several couples' wedding photos, different styles. My heart ached dully. It turned out Ethan's impatience was only directed at me. Before, I had eagerly dragged Ethan to try on wedding dress styles. But he always stood me up. "They're all the same, just buy whatever. I still remember the way Ethan frowned. His impatience with me wasn't fake. The tenderness in the dozens of photos wasn't fake either. What are you doing? Suddenly, a rush of heat came over me. Ethan snatched the phone forcefully. He used so much force I was pushed onto the bed. Don't you understand privacy? Ethan's face was flushed with heat, but his tone was chilling. I quietly looked at the scratches on my palm. They had started to bleed. Actually, even if Ethan hadn't come, I wouldn't have scrolled further. I had already seen those thousands of back and forth ambiguous texts. I'd scrolled from midnight till dawn. My eyes were red and swollen, yet I had to pretend I had just woken up. But who would have thought? 7 years of dating, our chat history was always me talking alone. Occasionally, when Ethan was in the mood, he'd reply with an emoji. I felt like a clown. I'm sorry, I won't look again. I lowered my gaze and apologized. Ethan froze. Ethan seemed unprepared for my reaction. Those photos, Sophie said the bride trying on dresses was tiring, so she just helped try them on. Don't misunderstand. And you know, with her brother Daniel passing away, I just thought I'd see what she looked like in wedding dresses on his behalf. I listened quietly to his lame excuse. Sophia's brother Daniel was Ethan's friend. At a crucial time for Ethan's startup, he ran into difficulties. Daniel was bringing him a USB drive, but got into a car accident on the way. He died shortly after being taken to the hospital. Before he died, he asked Ethan to look after his sister, Sophia. Ethan was very true to his word, taking care of Sophia exceptionally well. From initial distance, to later interfering in even minor everyday matters. I sniffled, thinking I would be leaving in a few days. What I wanted to say didn't need to be held back anymore. Don't worry about me misunderstanding. Actually, it would be quite good if you married Sophia. Before I could finish, Ethan's hand swung sharply, landing on my cheek with a loud slap. What are you talking about? Sophie only sees me as a brother. Do you think she's as easy as you are? My cheek stung, feeling hot. Right, Sophia isn't as easy as I am. Ethan just has to beckon and she'll throw herself at him like a slut. My eyes welled up, and I saw a flicker of panic in Ethan's expression. He softened his voice. I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. I suddenly wanted to muster the courage to tell him everything. Ethan, I'm getting Mar. I was interrupted by Ethan's phone ringing. Ethan answered the call. The voice from the other end echoed in the cold bedroom. Ethan, I had a nightmare. I dreamed about my brother. I feel so awful. Okay, don't be scared. I'm coming over now. Ethan was very anxious. He quickly threw on some clothes and was about to leave. Before leaving, as if suddenly remembering something. What were you about to say? But I had already composed myself. Nothing. We can talk about it when you get back. When I woke up the next day, there was no sign of anyone having slept on the other side of the bed. With only a few days left, I simply quit my job. Most of the clothes I packed last night were for donation. As I carried them out to the delivery guy, I noticed the apartment across the hall was very lively. Workers were going in and out, all carrying brand new furniture. Even though there were many people, I spotted Ethan right away. He had his arm around Sophia's shoulder, directing the workers where to place the furniture. Ethan was very detail-oriented about these things. When he and I moved in, he was the same way, taking time off to supervise. He said, that's how a home should be. But now, his presence was rarely seen in my home. Miss? What's your shipping code? The delivery guy called out, snapping me back. The people inside clearly heard him too. Just after the delivery guy left, Sophia bounced out. Olivia, Ethan said I keep having nightmares, so he bought this place. We'll be neighbors now. Sophia came closer, feigning cuteness, her big eyes blinking. I could never bring myself to like her. I didn't want to deal with her and was about to go back inside. But Sophia stumbled backward as if possessed. She bumped right into a worker carrying a cabinet. Her lower back hit the cabinet leg. Ah! Tears welled up in Sophia's eyes from the pain. Ethan heard the sound and ran out. He helped Sophia up, his eyes overflowing with concern. He rubbed her injured spot over and over. Ethan looked utterly incredulous. Olivia, can't you stop being so petty and jealous? Sophia's face turned pale. Ethan, don't scold Olivia. It's my fault, I shouldn't have moved in and bothered you. I'm just a nuisance. How are you a nuisance? You're my sister. My temples throbbed. Their sibling affection, no matter how many times I saw it, only disgusted me. My door was blocked by a hand. Olivia, apologize to Sophie. I couldn't hold back anymore. Why should I apologize for something I didn't do? Ethan shot back, haven't you done things like this often enough? I sneered repeatedly. He always believed only what he was willing to believe. Sophia weakly waved her hand from the side. Don't fight because of me, I'm sorry, it's all my fault for not standing steady. Ethan held Sophia's hand but glared at me. I never realized you were this kind of person before. So malicious, unable to tolerate anything. His gaze was like a knife, slicing my heart until it bled. In the end, I didn't apologize. Sophia kept crying in pain, so Ethan had to carry her bridal style downstairs. Watching their backs, I suddenly remembered I needed to go to the hospital too. My sleep wasn't good. I didn't know when it started, but I often had sleepless nights. I'd taken countless melatonin pills before finally thinking of seeking a doctor's help. The hospital wasn't crowded today, and I got my medication quickly. Going downstairs, I surprisingly saw Ethan and Sophia. It wasn't surprising, actually, as this was the closest hospital to home. Sophia was being carried bridal style by Ethan, who also held a bag of medication in one hand. It drew envious looks from passers-by. Look at that boyfriend, a pregnant woman nudged her own husband. Sophia looked shy, but Ethan was completely at ease. We met at the elevator. I didn't say anything, but Sophia started to struggle. Her face was flushed. Ethan, put me down. Ethan frowned. You're injured. Don't move around. Then, he abruptly asked me, why are you here too? Are you sick? I showed him the medication. Just insomnia. Ethan thought for a moment. Then I'll have my assistant buy some lavender to bring back. You can put some in your bedroom. He was about to say something else when the girl in his arms interrupted him again. Sophia started complaining of pain again, her voice like a kitten's. The elevator kept descending, then suddenly stopped with a jolt. The lights went out. In the darkness, I silently squatted head down. My body wouldn't stop trembling. I was afraid of the dark. Ethan hadn't forgotten this either and started calling out to me. Olivia, Olivia, are you okay? I choked out a mm. Sophie, get down first. Olivia is afraid of the dark. In the darkness, Sophia cried softly. I'm scared too, brother. Don't put me down. Ethan stopped caring about me and started comforting her tenderly again. My hands and feet started sweating, cold and clammy. There was another time before, when Ethan and I were in an elevator accident. The lights suddenly went out, and the elevator got stuck between floors. I was so scared I forgot to cry, trembling and sweating uncontrollably. Ethan had a cleanliness obsession, but that time he held me gently, without any hint of dislike or complaint. Just like how he was comforting Sophia now. Ethan. The darkness made me more vulnerable, my cheeks wet with tears. I was still imagining the warmth of his embrace. But Ethan shattered that himself. Sophie, she's injured. I stopped speaking, just buried my head in my arms. After who knows how long, the lights came back on. The elevator continued its descent normally. As soon as we reached the first floor, I stumbled out and rushed away. Back at home, I was still shaken. On my phone, I didn't have the mood to choose from the wedding dress styles my mom had sent. I just watched the clock hands turn. After some time, Ethan returned. He brought back a bunch of lavender and some food. I opened it. It was seafood chowder. Ethan had forgotten I was allergic to shrimp. He even apologized on his own. You haven't eaten. Eat it while it's hot. I opened the lid and ate all the seafood chowder. My skin immediately broke out in a rash. But I didn't care. Come back for dinner tomorrow. It's your birthday. Ethan paused, then quickly nodded. I got up to take allergy medicat. Ion. I wasn't good at cooking skills. Only my special birthday meal was halfway decent. But for some reason today, I failed at making several bowls. I didn't want to waste it, so I just quietly ate them all. Counting the time, I figured after Ethan came back and celebrated his birthday, I would leave. But I never waited for him. He called me. Sophie burned her finger while cooking. I have to take her to the hospital first. Go ahead and eat. Ethan's lies were always so clumsy. On my main account, I couldn't see Ethan's updates. But my alternate account showed a new post on social media. The photo showed two people standing in front of a cake. Ribbons/streamers fluttered, capturing the moment they were smiling and holding hands. Hello? Hello? Ethan hadn't hung up. I took a deep breath. It's okay, no rush. My alternate account liked the post. The special birthday meal was dumped into the trash can. Ethan had no love left for me. If I let go, he should be very happy. Dragging my suitcase, I left the house. On the way, I organized the evidence of Sophia and Ethan's years of ambiguity. I posted it on my social media feed. Many of their mutual contacts were there. I was leaving, and I wouldn't let them off easy. Before the plane took off, I sent Ethan a message. Happy birthday. Goodbye forever. I didn't say break up. Because in 7 years of dating, I never had a formal title. Those few abortions meant nothing to him, at most they were a result of being blind during the ambiguous period. The second before I turned off my phone, countless calls bombarded me. I accidentally answered one. Olivia, what did you post on your social media feed? Delete it now. Where are you going? Get back here and apologize to Sophie. I forced my phone off. It was laughable. He never used to reply to my messages. I used to think he was too busy. Now I knew he saw everything, he just didn't want to reply to anything concerning me. It was my mom, whom I hadn't seen in years, who came to pick me up. She was wearing a red dress, looking bright and vibrant. But I still thought she had aged a bit. My mom hugged me and said I had suffered. Although I had run away from home for many years, I hadn't completely lost touch with my mom. So she knew about my entanglement with Ethan. She even saw it very clearly, predicting that Ethan and I had no future. I didn't believe her before, but now I did. Along the way, my mom told me about the changes at home. I actually knew everything, but I still listened carefully. As soon as my phone was turned back on, it started ringing frantically again. I didn't answer any of them, just put it on silent. To my mom's questioning face, I said, "Spam calls." My mom seemed to understand something, but she didn't point it out. Because the wedding date was approaching, my schedule was tight. I went to try on wedding dress styles with my mom again. Looking at myself in the mirror, I felt like a stranger. My mom's eyes were red, and she wiped the corner of her eye. Liv, don't worry. Nicholas is a good person. I nodded, not really caring. I had already met worse people, there was nothing I couldn't tolerate. Unexpectedly, Nicholas also arrived. The person from the photo suddenly appeared in reality, and I felt a bit disoriented. Very beautiful. Nicholas sized me up and smiled, hooking his lips. This softened his cold demeanor immediately. Thank you. I lowered my head and tugged at my skirt hem. I felt a bit awkward. My mom quickly smoothed things over. Nicholas is here. Why don't you take a photo together as a souvenir? Nicholas looked to me for my opinion, and I nodded. My mom happily took a photo of us together. She loved posting on social media, so she posted the photo. My daughter is so beautiful. I never expected my mom's casual social media post to gain some traction. A few hashtags followed, trending. Hashtag Sterling Chairman Wedding hashtag Nicholas Wedding Photos hashtag. My mom was very satisfied with this and even screenshotted some congratulatory comments to show me. Let that Ethan see if he's worthy of you. Actually, I didn't care anymore. He didn't love me at all, so how could he hurt me? But unexpectedly, he actually messaged me. I had already blocked him on my main account, but he found my alternate account. He sent the photo of Nicholas and me. Then he called me. Wind howled on the other end of the line. You went home because of that man? Just because he's rich? Olivia, how could you be so cheap? I know you're doing this out of spite. Come back now, and I can give you a wedding too. I looked up at the moon outside the window. It was silver white, looking cold. Yes, just because he's rich. 100 times better than you. Ethan's breathing was heavy, as if he was suppressing the beast within him. His tone was harsh. Heh, he doesn't know yet, does he? I've slept with you for 7 years, you've been pregnant with 3 of my children. If he knew that, would he still want you? Olivia, you can only be mine. My chest ached dully, my eyes burning. For a long time, I couldn't say a word. And Ethan seemed to sense something. His tone softened. Liv, was our relationship of so many years all fake? He seemed about to say something else. But a girl's voice sounded from the other end of the phone. Ethan, the bathtub tap is broken, can you come take a look? I couldn't help but laugh and hung up. Then I completely deleted my alternate account. My cheeks felt cool. I touched them and my hand was wet with tears. I approached Ethan because of a promise. But if I could do it over, I definitely wouldn't have agreed. Ethan's mother was my neighbor back then. I had just run away and wasn't used to life outside. Ethan's mother was very kind to me, sometimes giving me life advice. It was because of her that I met Ethan. At that time, Ethan was 18. He was very rebellious and didn't like studying. My relationship with him wasn't particularly close. Until Ethan's mother became seriously ill. She knew her time was short. On her deathbed, she asked me to check on Ethan when I had time. I agreed. I entered Ethan's life, touching the heart of that rebellious teenager. And then, I was trapped for 9 years. I felt I had more than completed the task. Liv, what are you thinking about? You should go out. My mom lightly patted my shoulder. Because of my return and the arranged marriage with the Sterling family, your dad held a dinner party. The dazzling crystal chandeliers made it hard to see the expressions of the people below. It was a buzzing social event, and flashbulbs popped constantly. I turned sideways to hide, but Nicholas stepped in front of me first. He turned back and smiled at me. Nicholas seemed like a decent person. If I had met him first, maybe things would have been different. There were too many strangers, so I didn't dare drink much at the dinner party. I just pretended to be drunk as an excuse to hide outside and get some air. The thin clouds in the night sky had dispersed, revealing the cold moon and a few scattered stars. By the moonlight, I saw someone walking towards me. It was Ethan. He seemed to have lost some weight. Sophia's evening gown sparkled, and she was holding his arm. Come back with me. Ethan's tone was dismissive. I couldn't be bothered to say more and turned to leave. Ethan grabbed my wrist. His grip was strong, hurting me and making me frown. Let go. What will it take for you to come back with me? Ethan's eyes were red-rimmed. I wanted to laugh, but even my lips felt difficult. Sophia's soft voice came through. I'm sorry, sister, it's because of me you're fighting. Please forgive Ethan. He really loves you. She choked up. From the yard/garden outside, I could faintly hear the laughter from inside the house. It was completely different from the cold silence here. Ethan, we can't go back. What are you talking about? We've known each other for 9 years. What do you think those 9 years were? Isn't it money you want? I have money now too. I can be richer than Nicholas. I found it ironic. When you made me get an abortion myself, and then went on vacation with Sophia, what did you consider those 9 years? Ethan choked. Sophia was about to speak, but I slapped her across the face. Being as low as you are, you're one of a kind. Instantly, her face turned white as paper, and tears streamed down. Ethan unconsciously let go of my hand. No, she's just my sister. His voice gradually faded. I didn't want to look at him anymore. Not far away, Nicholas called out to me. I forced a smile and walked towards him. Nicholas said, "You know him? You too?" "No, I only know that he's the child the head of the Miller family recognized a few days ago." The wedding was still a few days away, and I had a few things I wanted to buy. Nicholas was clearly busy but insisted on accompanying me. I wasn't close to him, so I couldn't order him around, I just agreed. Passing by a custom-made jewelry store, a sales associate/staff enthusiastically pulled me inside. She was so enthusiastic I couldn't bear to refuse. The store was decorated warmly and romantically. I looked at the rings and the glass display cases, until one of them made me stop. I stopped Nicholas from buying it. I suddenly lost interest and turned to leave. A familiar voice came from behind. "Liv!" Many sales associate/staff members were cheering. I turned around, watching coldly as Ethan picked up the ring from earlier. He seemed a bit awkward and hesitant. "Do you remember this ring?" How could I not remember? We had known each other for 3 years. In our first year together, he designed a ring himself. It was adorned with a sapphire, with letters/initials engraved on the inside. It wasn't elaborate, but it was enough to make my heart flutter. But because of various incidents at the time, it was never made. Ethan walked closer, step by step, about to take my hand. The cheering from the people nearby grew louder. Except for Nicholas and me, everyone was shouting, "Get together." I just found it noisy. I shook him off forcefully, and the ring was knocked flying, landing right in the trash can. The surrounding sounds went silent for a moment. "Mr. Miller, please have some self-respect." Ethan trembled all over. "Liv, isn't this what you wanted? We can get married right now, and we'll be together forever." It was too late, far too late. If only it had been earlier, before I found out they were sleeping together. Before I lost my 3rd child. I would have been in tears, accepting this outcome I had longed for years. Ethan looked as if he had just woken from a dream. "Don't you like this one? It's okay, I can design another one, as many as you want." I know you're jealous of Sophia, don't worry, Ethan, there won't be a future for us." I cut him off. I took Nicholas's hand, and he willingly went along with it. Ethan tried to stop me, but he couldn't. Behind us, there was a commotion. Ethan was like a madman, rummaging through the trash can. I never expected Sophia to try to force her way into my home. The servants stopped her. Sophia's face, white as snow, looked a bit gaunt. This time it wasn't an act. "Olivia, please, don't let Ethan leave me." I stared at my phone. I had 10 minutes before I had to leave. "For my appointment. He has nothing to do with me now." As soon as the words left my mouth, it seemed to hit one of Sophia's raw nerves. She started struggling fiercely, her eyes filled with venom. "Bitch, it's all because of you. Ethan doesn't want me anymore. He loves me. Why should you take him from me? My brother is dead. I have nothing left. Can't you just let me have this?" Sophia looked completely unhinged, crying and then laughing. "Your brother's death. He deserved it." Sophia froze at my words, then seemed to realize something and started trembling. No. Is what you're saying true?" A man's voice came, and Sophia trembled like a sieve. I didn't want to watch their confrontation anymore, because it was time to leave. Nicholas's car was parked at the door. I opened the car door in 3 quick steps. Ethan tried to grab me, but Sophia pulled him back. "Get lost!" Sophia was pushed to the ground. I thought of that night outside the police station. The car window closed, cutting off the noise. Nicholas asked me, "Are you okay?" I smiled nonchalantly. In my peripheral vision, Ethan's hand was hitting the car window over and over, making a thudding sound. He was shouting something, but I couldn't hear. The soundproofing was really good. The car started, and I leaned against the car window. In the rearview mirror, Ethan was chasing after us desperately. Gradually, I couldn't see his figure anymore. I closed my eyes. The night before the wedding, I was about to fall asleep. Mrs. Gable suddenly knocked on my door, bringing a drink/offering something to drink for me. "Miss, there seems to be someone outside." Mrs. Gable told me there was a man looking for me outside. But my mom had told everyone else to ignore him. Mrs. Gable saw how pitiful he looked and couldn't help but say something. The door closed again. I walked to the window. Coincidentally, my position gave me a clear view of downstairs. Ethan was leaning against his car, the ground covered in cigarette butts. As if by a strange impulse, he looked up and our eyes met. Life immediately returned to his empty eyes. I pulled the curtains shut. I told Mr. Davies to send him away. Downstairs, there was a commotion. Ethan shouted my name. The entanglement lasted for over 10 minutes, until the rumble of thunder sounded. "Forget it, just leave him be." I called them back inside. Mr. Davies was wiping sweat, his clothes wrinkled. "Miss, he insisted on seeing you. Ignore him." Later, it started raining outside. Ethan wasn't stupid. He had just been chased away like a dog by Mr. Davies. He probably left a long time ago. But in the middle of the night, I was woken by the sound of thunder and rain. Under the streetlight outside the window, rain poured down, but Ethan was still there. He was still stubbornly looking towards my bedroom. But he was swaying, about to collapse. Late affection is cheaper than grass. I went back to sleep and slept soundly all night. The next morning, there was no trace of him downstairs. The makeup artist complimented me on my good complexion, saying I looked beautiful no matter how they did my makeup. The woman in the mirror was being praised, but she didn't smile at all. I walked out wearing my wedding dress, and Nicholas was waiting there for me. He carried me bridal style into the car. Arriving at the wedding venue, there were endless flowers and applause. The weather was perfect today, exceptionally bright. Under the relieved gaze of my parents, Nicholas took my hand, and the diamond ring was inching closer to my ring finger. "Wait!" All sounds stopped. People looked behind. Ethan was wearing a suit, brand new. But his face was too gaunt. His eyes were dark underneath, his cheeks sunken. He walked closer, step by step, and was then stopped by bodyguards. The head of the Miller family was also present today. Seeing Ethan, the head of the Miller family's face turned green with rage. "Liv, marry me. Come back with me." Ethan knelt on one knee. The crowd erupted. I forced a smile and turned to urge Nicholas. "Why aren't you putting it on me?" Nicholas put the diamond ring on my ring finger. Ethan was still kneeling there, swaying precariously. The hand holding the ring was trembling. I lifted the hem of my dress and walked towards him, step by step. A look of surprise appeared on Ethan's face. But the bloodshot eyes made him look terrifying. I picked up his ring and threw it forcefully onto the lawn. "It's too late." Ethan suddenly stood up and actually pulled out a knife/blade. People in the front row saw it and became agitated. Ethan was fast, but his target wasn't me. The scene was chaotic. He ran towards Nicholas. I wanted to stop him, but it was too late. "Watch out!" Someone went up to grab him, and I was pushed aside. There was blood on the ground, but it wasn't Nicholas's. The knife/blade was plunged into Ethan's abdomen. His hands were covered in blood. He said to me in a wrong tone, "Liv, I'm hurting so much." In a daze, I remembered a few years ago when he insisted on cooking and ended up cutting his finger. He looked at me the same way then, feeling wronged. But I would never again hold his hand and bandage it for him. I hurried towards Nicholas to check his injuries. Fortunately, Nicholas only had some scratches on his arm. In the crowd, someone called an ambulance, while others surrounded Ethan. His gaze was intense, but I didn't look back. Ethan was taken away. The chaotic wedding was barely kept in order until the end. After that, I didn't see him again for a long time. I heard the head of the Miller family had him confined. I also heard he tried to commit suicide several times and was rescued. Later, it was said the head of the Miller family found Sophia and tried to use her to help Ethan recover. But it didn't work. Sophia was abused by Ethan and found barely alive. It was said she was crippled. I didn't deliberately seek information, just lived my own life. It was my birthday again. Nicholas wanted to throw a big party for me, but I stopped him. In the end, he just made a clumsy cake himself. I grew to love documenting my life, posting a quick photo on my social media feed. Ethan liked the post. After this, I only heard about Ethan in the news. His ruthless/decisive business tactics, taking over the Miller family in just 1 year. Or his affairs/flings, seeking out several women with extensive cosmetic surgery. Those faces, more or less, resembled one person. Until one time, I went to a restaurant. I ran into Ethan being intimate with a woman. He saw me quickly and immediately pushed the alluring woman away. Ethan mumbled, seemingly wanting to explain to me. He fiddled with his clothing, releasing his grip multiple times. By the time he came to his senses, I had already walked past him. Later, I heard Ethan had sent away all the women around him. Even his assistant was replaced with a man. He started doing charity work and adopted a daughter. Named her Chloe. Ethan poured money into Chloe's upbringing. Outsiders speculated that she was actually Ethan's biological daughter. Why else would he be so good to her? Years later, Ethan fell gravely ill. At that time, most of the Miller family's power was in Chloe's hands. Ethan publicly announced his will, leaving half his fortune to Chloe and donating the other half. His last day of life happened to be his birthday. Father said he hopes you can spend his last birthday with him. Chloe came to find me personally. This girl was truly well raised, showing no hint of inferiority. Years had passed, and I had long since moved on. But I didn't want to see him one last time. I wanted to get one last bit of revenge on Ethan. Not long after Chloe left, Ethan passed away that night. That night, I, who had many dreamless nights, finally had a dream. I saw Ethan lying in a hospital bed. One hand was exposed, full of 4 tubes. Pale and thin, it rested weakly on the side of the bed. White coats rushed in and covered him with a sheet/shroud. Ethan was truly dead. I woke up early. It was a rare sunny day in spring.